A Tucson man convicted of killing 2 men at a park says he is innocent.
A judge sentenced Eduardo Celaya to life in prison after the 2005 murders of 2 Mexican nationals at Kennedy Park. 9 News Side's Ricky Mitchell and Chris Miracle take a closer look at the evidence in the case.
At a small home on the southwest side, the Celaya family sits down for dinner. But they know one person is missing.
I mean, you don't get used to it. It's hard.
Eduardo Celaya's daughter, Jessica, says they visit him every weekend in prison, spending the entire day there.
We just have to, support him and cheer him up.
Well, they've been very supportive because they know I'm innocent and they know who I am and where I was the day of these incidents, and they know that I would never take another man's life.
When Celaya's nephew first spoke with police, he told them a detailed story about how and why his uncle killed the 2 victims at Kennedy Park. According to police records, his timeline starts at 3 a.m. the day of the murders, when Celaya's nephew says he and his uncle went to a trailer park to pick up $74,000 in cash. His nephew tells police Celaya owed the victims this money, and instead of paying them, Celaya kills them. The murders took place sometime between 7 and 8 the morning of October 21st, according to the nephew's story, though the Pima County medical examiner couldn't determine an exact time of death. His nephew tells police that after Celaya shoots the men, he asks to be picked up at a nearby food city. They drive back to his nephew's apartment. Celaya attempts to destroy evidence, and then he leaves. But Celaya and his attorney say there's one problem with this story. Celaya was at work all day, starting at sunrise.
There are ample witnesses that say not only that he was at his job and that they were with him, but also that if he wasn't at his job, he was important enough in the construction food chain that his absence, people would have noticed it, and it would have made its way around, and he would have been fired if he was gone for 3 hours.
One of those witnesses, Ramberto Rendon. Rendon testified during a 2013 evidentiary hearing that on the day of the murders, Celaya was training him to become a superintendent. In his testimony, Rendon says he and Celaya were together that entire day. He remembers because he says Celaya was in a hurry to leave work and go to Las Vegas with his family. Celaya's current attorney, David Eichner, asked Rendon during that hearing if it's possible that Celaya left for a couple of hours and went and did something else. Rendon answers no. But this alibi defense was never used in Celaya's trial. We asked his trial attorney why.
I was fearful that it would come back on us, really, because if the state had decided to use the cell phone information, I believe that they could have proven where he was. And, I'll just have to say, based on confidential information that I can't talk to you about, I thought that might happen.
The state's other key piece of evidence, a bullet found in the floorboard of Celaya's work truck that a Tucson police criminalist testified was fired from the same gun that killed the 2 victims.
Yes, I would have. If I had any doubts about my conclusions in this particular report, I would have written it up as inconclusive.
Police never found the murder weapon in this case. Eichner says a 2009 National Academy of Science report showed that this kind of ballistics identification is subjective.
It was basically junk science, and the only people who don't want to admit that are the prosecutors.
Celaya told KGUN-9 in a phone interview that the bullet found in his truck was from 2002, when his gun jammed and misfired. He took the gun back to the pawn shop where he bought it, and Celaya says the store told him the gun would be destroyed. His attorney at trial, Robert Murray, even called ATF agents to the stand.
They testified that he didn't have the weapon at the time of the murder.
This ballistics evidence, combined with Celaya's phone records and his nephew's testimony, convinced the jury.
Did you have anything to do with Humberto and Miguel's murders?
No, I did not, miss.
He's already waited a decade for justice. He might have to wait another decade.
Ricky Mitchell, KGUN-9 on your side.
The Arizona Justice Project has an interest in Celaya's case and attended one of Celaya's recent hearings. The Justice Project only takes clients who don't have legal counsel, so Celaya doesn't qualify.
The original detective and the Pima County Attorney's Office declined to comment on this story because it is still going through the legal system. Celaya remains at the Arizona State Prison Complex in Tucson.